You're listening to an audio article by the Common Constitutionalist. Today's article is entitled More Questions Than Answers in Las Vegas. What is going on in Las Vegas? The timeline of incidences leading up to the shooting keep changing. And where is the hero hotel security guard, Jesus Campos? The next logical question would then be, are the two connected somehow? Early this week, Las Vegas police issued a timeline of events which stated that security guard Campos was shot a full 6 minutes before the shooter Paddock began firing on the crowd below. The now famous Las Vegas Sheriff Joe Lombardo also corrected the record of those injured. He said Friday, quote, that the number of injuries related to the October 1st massacre had increased, rising to 546. Of that number, he said 45 were still hospitalized, some in critical condition, unquote, writes the Chicago Tribune. Lombardo also confirmed that police do believe Paddock shot at large aviation fuel storage tanks. Igniting the tanks, which didn't and probably couldn't have happened, may have had a twofold effect, furthering the carnage and more easily providing for an escape. However, instead of continuing to question the motive of the shooter, many have begun to also question the police response and why the timeline of events keeps changing. The sheriff has not taken too kindly to the questioning. Quote, there is no conspiracy between the FBI, between LVMPD and the MGM, unquote, Lombardo insisted. Quote, nobody is attempting to hide anything in reference to this investigation. The dynamics and the size of this investigation requires us to go through voluminous amounts of information in order to draw an accurate picture, unquote. I don't doubt that there is a lot of information to digest, witnesses to interview, and corroboration to confirm. But we're talking about 24/7 news cycle here, and Lombardo has to be conscious of just throwing out sound bites to momentarily appease the press. He should know, or certainly someone should be advising him, to get the facts straight from start to finish, then release them. In other words, stop with the press conferences. Instead, he just keeps digging himself into a deeper hole every time he has to trot back out to correct something. Who cares if the press thinks you're hiding something? What's important is getting the facts right. The greater mystery is where Jesus Campos disappeared to and why. He, of course, is the hero Mandalay security guard who was shot in the leg when he approached Paddock's room some 6 minutes prior to the slaughter. But now that has also changed. Instead of the 6 minutes, hotel officials claim, quote, it was no more than 40 seconds between the time Campos used his walkie-talkie to call for help and Paddock opening fire, unquote. During the Friday presser, Lombardo said he was aware of the hotel's claim and that he was, quote, not in conflict with it, unquote. If that's the case, where did the original 6-minute recounting come from? There sure are a lot more questions than answers, aren't there? Want another? What the crap happened to our hero, Jesus Campos? On Thursday, just 2 days ago, he was slated to appear on 5 separate TV shows and showed up for none. No one seems to know what happened to him. It's bizarre. ABC News reporter Stephanie Wash tweeted a quote from Campos's union president saying, quote, we're in a room and when we came out, he was gone, unquote. Sean Hannity, also slated to speak with Campos, tweeted simply, quote, he canceled, unquote. Well, he didn't just cancel, he vanished into thin air. And nobody knows where he is. If someone does, they're not saying. Again, this begs the question of the ever-changing timeline and whether Campos's sudden disappearing act has anything to do with it. Oddly, the only changes in the timeline revolve around Campos. One could say that with the noise and commotion, it would be easy to confuse the timeline, yet according to the latest iteration, there was no noise or commotion until after Campos was shot. This is indeed odd, with one weird event after another. Now, I'm certainly not making light of this tragedy, but has anyone checked if Las Vegas has a grassy knoll? Thank you for listening.